So I think it's worth, nobody's watching, I guess. It doesn't matter. I still think it's very funny. Jeff's got a pitch for HGTV and TLC to do a mashup. Tiny people in tiny houses. It's awful.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy.
It'd probably be one of the least offensive things TLC's made.
Man, we're gonna solve all of our problems with overpopulation and too much pollution with that solution right there.
Okay. So 720p, that's another thing that's annoying.
Yeah. You can't set up the family system from the
What? It's limited at 720p?
Yeah.
There's some channels.
Yeah, some channels are 1080.
Yeah, Ryan updated it. I think I can't remember what's 1080p and what's
Corbin, you're
720.
popping again.
Oh my god.
Let's
Okay,
see if
hold
it's
on.
saved.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna try this.
Man, if you like soccer, you're gonna pay a lot extra for it. My goodness.
Kidding.
$15 a month for football.
What games does Fox Soccer Plus even have?
I do not know. I'm not really a soccer guy, so
I don't know either. I'm
not sure what
I
I'm.
tried to watch the World Cup when it was on, and like even games that were just the US, they were on like different channels every time. Like one time it'd be on Fox, and then it'd be another one on like Univision or something. It was incredibly annoying.
I try to like soccer every time the World Cup comes around. I really do try to like it. It's not
I watch
my
some of the
sport.
games, but Corbin, maybe I don't know.
Is it your earbuds getting too close to your mic?
Yeah, maybe that could be it.
Yeah,
But they're on like I have USB ports on both sides, and the one with the microphone plugged in is not even on the same side as the.
Just do me a favor, unplug your earbuds and keep talking.
Okay.
I really think they need to
All right, what
condense
about now?
soccer down to just the shootout at the end. Get rid of the 90 minutes in between.
Here, wait. Let me turn it up so I can hear my. Okay. What about now? Because I'm talking.
It's still there.
I'm getting an echo from you now too.
Well,
that's
he has
'cause-
his earbuds disconnected.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, there we go.
God, that's so weird.
Here, wait. Hold on, let me try something.
Maybe like shift your laptop around a little bit, or is it a desktop?
Yeah, it's not a new problem. I heard that last week when I re-listened to our recording.
That's funny because I didn't hear it. Can't hear you now.
For the three of you joining us, I hope you're enjoying this enthralling conversation we're having about.
There's 16 of them,
problem.
Jeff. All right.
There's 16 of them. Oh my gosh!
Let's not.
We've been talking about like exclusive podcast or like giveaway codes to give you guys, but I wish we had them right now because I'd like to reward all 16 of you. That'd be great.
Yes, we will try to do some promotional things around the show. Corbin, we are working out a small microphone issue. Everyone, we will be getting started shortly.
I forgot to mute the YouTube stream.
That's always weird hearing these other people talk. I mean, it's usually my voice, so it's weird for me.
Oh, don't go there, David.
All right, I hate to ask this noob question, but you guys every once in a while read comments that people are making during our show. Are those on the YouTube stream?
Yes,
Yeah.
they're on the YouTube page.
Okay. There it is.
Okay. Got that ready. I think everything else is ready. Oh.
Except for Corbin.
Sorry, everybody. Like I said, we are waiting on a microphone issue to hopefully resolve itself. If not, we will continue on anyway. We will soldier through the noise.
Okay, what about now?
Ooh, way worse.
Yeah, that was way worse.
Oh my god.
What did you change?
I plugged my microphone and my video into a USB dongle on one port.
Yeah, you've got some kind of serious USB isolation problem.
Yeah.
All right.
Because Corbin, are you on a laptop or a desktop?
Yeah, I'm on a laptop because my desktop fans are incredibly loud, and that was the issue the first episode. Okay, well, I'll just go push to talk for this episode then.
I mean, I switch back to the other port, please, because this is much worse.
I hope that the episode
there we go.
title for this week is "Fixing Corbin's Mic." Just,
Yep.
Okay. Try to talk
Yeah, I'm
again,
with
just to make sure.
All right, I put it back to how it was before.
Okay, it's not as bad. All right, let's go for it.
Good enough.
Yep. Welcome to the Android Police Podcast. I'm your host, David Ruddick.
I'm Cody Toombs.
I'm Corbin Davenport.
and I'm Jeff Beck.
And I'm Jordan Palmer.
Jeff, you dropped the "and."
I just realized that. That's really embarrassing. Like, I just did like the
Leaving me
voice,
out,
but I
man.
wasn't.
stepping on toes.
Jeez.
You should have added it also. It would have been smoother. They're like, and I'm also Jordan Palmer. That would have been great. So,
Yeah.
all right, next week. Next week I'll nail it.
Okay. I hope so. So
Better.
today you may have seen around the web a lot of people putting their hands on a new Google experience, YouTube TV. Ryan, who is not with us this week, he's alive. He's just not with us.
We think.
I've made that joke way too many times, by the way. I really need to stop.
It was my first time hearing it. I enjoyed it. It was just great.
Okay.
Yeah.
The new service is $35 a month. You have to live in one of a handful of test markets, unless you use some tools to get around that. Tools that would probably be obvious to most listeners of this show. You have to be in Chicago, LA, New York, Philadelphia, or the San Francisco Bay Area. It's $35 a month. You get about 40 channels to start. Google's going to add more as time goes on. You get local channels as well. And there's some add-ons like Showtime and Fox Soccer Plus. Those are actually the only add-ons right now, which is kind of strange. Hopefully they'll get HBO at some point. So I'm just curious to kind of get, what is everybody's gut reaction to YouTube TV?
Well, I probably will be passing on it, but it seems like a really cool step in the right direction, and I'm curious to see where it will go, or if it's going to flounder like all the other Google stuff we like.
I think it has a pretty decent shot just being integrated with YouTube. The thing I like about it is YouTube is already present like on everything. That's a really common application. Now, will this work the same YouTube app that you like have installed on your 5-year-old smart TV, or is it
That's a great question. I would guess no.
Because if it did, that solves a lot of problems. If it requires a separate app, it's gonna hurt its integration a little bit. But they're very smart if they're able to integrate it with their current YouTube stuff, because that would
I think
Yeah,
it
because
does
would
require
make it easier to
separate.
adopt.
Because this doesn't work.
Stop
through
breaking my
YouTube
dreams, Corbin.
app. It's separate, so it's got its own app, YouTube
No, that's-
TV. I kind of wish it
disappointing.
was integrated into the regular YouTube app, but then again, I don't know. Maybe it needs a separate experience.
Maybe. I am digging the overall trend to moving towards more and more digital TV platforms. I think the more there are, the greater the competition will be, and better pricing will be. And I do like the idea of not having to pay for a set box underneath my TV ever again. So that's nice.
Yeah, I think the focus on casting is interesting because
There's no Roku app or anything like that, right?
No. So you got to do this all through a Chromecast or an Android TV for now. I think they said there's going to be an app for Android TV, right? They were kind of walking
It's
around
listed
that.
supported according to some description, so it's definitely going to happen, but I can't imagine why they would launch without Android TV support being there. Like,
Yeah. No
You know,
kidding.
I think that comes down to the answer being this is developed by the YouTube team, and they probably look at Android TV and say, "Why should we care?"
Well, even their current Android TV app is mediocre at best.
Oh,
It's
the YouTube app for Android
really
TV is
broken.
awful. It is the worst.
It's pretty
I
bad
can't
on
believe how
Roku,
bad it
too.
is.
The one on Roku is awful.
Yeah, but I bet the one on Roku gets way more attention in terms of like bugs and fixes than the one on Android TV can possibly hope to.
Maybe.
I would not be
Yeah,
surprised.
that's true. Though Android TV has not even like app specific issues. There's just a lot of platform issues that kind
Yeah.
of break Android TV in
I
bad
have
ways.
to I have to restart my Sony Android TV like once a week, and I've
Really?
never had that experience before. I'm like, this is like owning an Android phone from 2014.
Oh, I have to restart the Shield, the new one that I have once a week too, because it loses connectivity to the Wi-Fi. It thinks it has a bad connection for no reason. And
Whereas
sometimes
my-
it just won't wake up. Sometimes it thinks it's dead, and then I have to unplug it and plug it back in. It's not a good
Yay.
experience in some ways.
Yeah,
And it still
I'm
doesn't
familiar
have
with the
Google
network
Assistant,
issue,
right?
not with the restarting the TV thing.
What, Courtney?
My
Oh,
Go ahead.
the 2017 Shield still doesn't have Assistant, right? And that was supposed to come with it, I think.
They didn't promise it at launch. They said it would come later, but
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Yay.
it should be coming at some point, I hope. But I would say that the thing about the other interesting thing about YouTube TV is the resolutions vary. So some
Yeah.
channels are 720p, which is bad. So, I mean, it may not look bad depending how big your TV is or how far away you sit from it. But
Yeah. I think really, if you were watching on the computer, that'd probably be the biggest way you could tell it was 720p. I mean,
yeah, I can definitely notice 720p on a PC without a doubt. Yeah. I also
I gotta admit,
notice
I'm
it
a little
on my
surprised they
phone
don't
now,
have 4K already in their lineup. Even if it was just
it's so
one channel.
surprising because YouTube has pushed 4K and 6K and 8K so hard. They're harder than anybody else, and they do a TV service and they can't get it there.
and that seems like something YouTube would really want to push too, because there's already 8K YouTube videos, and it's really strange that YouTube TV has this limited resolution.
Yeah, I find that very annoying. I wonder if it's down to, I mean, I could only speculate as to why that is, because I'm sure YouTube wanted it, and I'm sure there's a reason they couldn't get it.
Yeah.
I would have two specific theories. The first being it's just a licensing thing and maybe they couldn't get access to everything or not at a good price. The other one being kind of a Google-wide thing. They have a tendency with new products, new services to sort of push stuff out with a limited set of resources. And it's not until they gain traction that they're like, all right, we can throw some more servers at this. We can give this all the bandwidth it needs. So on and so forth. Like we've seen this happen on device sales on the Play Store and server crashes.
That's true. I think the cool thing about it is that if you work your subscription through the family group system, you can have up to 6 people on a single subscription, which seems like something that will surprise and delight college students everywhere. I'm sure that that will be getting some traction. It's some really good value for your money. I have to wonder. I feel like YouTube's going to have to probably advertise this pretty heavily to get any real mind share, though.
Probably as heavily as they advertise YouTube Red, if not more.
Yeah. And YouTube Red apparently has not been, a roaring success.
The two don't seem to be playing the same odds, though. Like at a certain point, cable cutters, in theory, really want what YouTube TV offers. So, I mean, they still have to advertise it to get that mind share, but I kind of feel like they might have an easier time just because people want to get away from cable, and YouTube TV fills a lot of those gaps.
I mean, I feel like the issue is, as somebody who doesn't have cable myself, is that I have access to other services already, and they fill most of my consumption needs. So I have YouTube, where I have several channels that I follow that produce content I really like, and I pay for YouTube Red because I hate damn YouTube video advertisements. And I have Amazon Prime, so I have Amazon Instant Video, which actually, has a pretty good, content library these days. I
Yeah.
have Netflix, which has a lot of stuff and original content that I like to watch.
Some really good original content, man.
And I have Hulu, which I have mostly for like those TV shows on like Fox and stuff that I want to watch relatively recently after they come out, but don't have cable. And then I have an antenna, a digital antenna for my TV. So like with all of those things together, I don't feel the distinct urge to pay $35 a month for a TV I mostly won't watch. I mean, I guess if there's something you really want, like, there's no Viacom on this, so that's a lot of stuff out. There's ESPN, there's Disney, and you get FX, and I think they said they're adding AMC later, right? So that would be a big one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't feel as motivated. By
Yeah,
this
I'm in the
personally.
same spot.
Yeah.
I guess the question becomes like, what can YouTube TV replace out of all of those services? And I don't know if it can replace any of those for.
Probably Hulu would be my first guess. Because I just do YouTube, Netflix, and then the Comcast app on my Roku. But I never watch cable TV, so
I watch live sports. That's it.
I don't even do that.
I mean, I acquire the other shows I can't get through my other services because, I'm not paying Time Warner or Spectrum or whoever they are that money every month. I just I already pay them plenty for internet, and I'm using that internet for things. So I like the idea of YouTube TV because I know it's going to probably have a really good Android app experience. And that is important, especially like if you're traveling and just want to watch TV while you're traveling, you don't have to worry about whereas where I'm staying, do they have the same channels? Am I going to be able to watch the one thing I know I'm going to want to watch? That's cool. That feels like the future, I guess, where you can just take your TV with you. Now, granted, you have all the apps from the cable companies now that do this.
Yeah,
they all kind of suck, but they do work. So I don't know.
We talk about Android fragmentation all the time, but media fragmentation is becoming more and more of an issue all the time. Like I have, I think, 20 different streaming applications installed on my phone, and it's a freaking disaster trying to figure out where I can watch what I want to watch. So.
Joseph also points out that like Sling, you have your DVR with you with YouTube TV, which is cool. The DVR on YouTube TV is unlimited storage. But it
has a timeline, right?
Yes, 9 months.
Okay, so just long enough to have a baby.
That's YouTube TV lets you keep your shows for approximately one baby.
Exactly, man. That should be like the tagline. I would be so confused by that I'd have to click and read more.
So, really quick, I just want to throw in. I feel like 9 months is somehow just a little dickish. It should be at least 10. Like a year would be more plausible, but it should be 10.
That is a very specific number. It must have been like a.
There must have been some sticking points in negotiations about that number. It's so weird.
Joke, or I don't know, maybe a pregnant lady that was angry. I don't know, something funny going on there.
Yeah, that's strange.
You've got to figure there's so many shows where they air an episode, and through the course of a season, seasons are usually about 9 months on most cable networks. Like, okay, fine, you could watch a couple of shows in your 9 months and kind of get right up to the last minute and watch that final episode like as it airs. But if you're saving, let's say, 10 shows, that's not going to work. Like, they could give you like that extra month of leeway to get it all fit in.
The other aspect is on-demand content, which is in there. But Ryan pointed out in his hands-on that there are some inconsistencies in what's available, and there are ads, pre-rolls. It's mostly to be pre-rolls. So that's kind of annoying. Because I feel like if I had this and YouTube Red, I feel like I should still be getting my no-ad experience, whatever YouTube product umbrella I'm falling under.
Exactly.
That's true.
Yeah.
That seems kind of annoying. And I'm pretty sure Ryan has YouTube Red, so I'm guessing that the ads are still there regardless. Yeah, that's annoying. The other thing, there's one other odd limitation for those of you football fans out there, and I mean the America variety of football. You cannot watch football on your phone. because Verizon has exclusive control over the mobile streaming rights for the NFL in the United States.
That gives me more warm, fuzzy feelings towards Verizon, let me tell you.
Definitely. Verizon must pay so much money to keep that stranglehold on that service.
I love how oddly
Yeah.
specific that is. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you can watch every other sport. Oh, football? No, sorry, can't do that.
You can
so
watch soccer for $15
you
a month.
can cast football to a casting target. So there's that. And I would not be surprised if somebody maybe works out a way to kind of hackishly make this work, but that's the limitation for now. Overall, I think that like most Google products, it doesn't feel quite finished yet. It launched.
There's a
Surprise!
product
That is kind of
At launch?
surprise, yeah.
Jeez, what
That
I
was
thought.
surprising.
Yeah, next year they'll release 3 other apps that do the exact same thing as well. It'll be great.
When is YouTube TV getting stickers? This is very important. I need to know.
Chat.
As
An
soon
SMS
as soon as
support.
Allo gets a purpose in life.
And speaking of stickers, this is a total tangent, but have you guys been seeing the Apple stickers commercial like everywhere that's been playing again and again and again?
No.
I don't think
I actually did see it very briefly once, but I didn't pay attention. I just saw that there was this big.
I've probably
sticker
seen that
ad.
commercial 200 times in the last month. It must just be on all the outlets I'm watching. Anyways, that's a total tangent. Let's return to
I've
Android,
not seen
guys.
this commercial. Then again,
I hate it. I just wanted to bring that up. So I really do hate it.
interesting.
Duly
So-
noted.
So in terms of another kind of interesting news this week.
Hold on really quick, because it was just brought up in the chat room. YouTube TV doesn't work in Nougat's multi-window.
what.
Are you
That
joking me?
deserves, like, this
Oh
to
my
the
God.
Should
forehead.
ask Ryan.
Why?
Yeah, you got to know well, maybe they're like, no, we're going to wait for O and the PIP mode thing, I guess.
Oh, that's so dumb.
That and YouTube's probably like, they don't care that much.
No.
That's true. YouTube is very checked out. Of
YouTube
what Android
operates
is
like,
doing,
I think to remember is YouTube operates almost like a separate company inside Google because they're self-sustaining. They make enough money to do their own stuff, and they basically have their own CEO. I think, is it still Susan Wojcicki that runs YouTube, I think? But anyway, like they're their own little company, not little, like big.
It's a pretty big little company. Yeah.
Yes, they're a very big little company. So YouTube kind of gets to do whatever they want. And whatever they want probably includes not having a unified Android product strategy. So that's good for everyone, I guess. To switch gears, there's an interesting story this week. One of the most popular stories on AP this week was about the Moto G5 Plus. And it's pretty ridiculous. So apparently, Motorola has been sending out the Moto G5 Plus in America with the wrong diagram for the SIM card instructions, like how you put a SIM card in a cellular telephone. You know, that thing we've been doing for give or take 20 years. You know, that. So yeah, that thing. So the model in the US only has one SIM slot. The international model is dual SIM. So the one in America has a slot that is clearly the size and shape of a nano SIM.
It has like the outline cut into it. Like
Literally. Like it says SIM where the outline is. Like literally on the card it says SIM. And then when you flip it over on the other side, there's a slot for where the micro SD card fits, and it says SD.
you know, this seems so obvious to us, but having
It does.
worked for like 2 years in retail at T-Mobile, people have no freaking idea what a SIM card and a micro SD card are. They're like, for one, everyone calls them a SIMS card. Have you guys ever heard that?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
I haven't
When I
heard
worked
that
at-
one.
When I
like-
worked at Target, I got
Oh my
SIMS
gosh.
card a lot.
Yeah,
No,
like,
what's
Interesting.
I had a guy
What's
who
terrible
really
is
thought-
I've heard a cellular rep say it.
Yeah,
Oh my
I
God.
had a person who
Never
asked
happened.
me one time how it was associated with SimCity if they needed the Sims card to play it, and it's like, oh my gosh,
That's amazing.
yeah, their app was
Why couldn't
crashing,
we
and they
have all
thought they
been there?
needed a new SIM card in their phone to fix their SimCity application. So that was a high point.
Also
Oh,
compatible for the-
So this SIM card slot, which is labeled, comes with a diagram in the instructions that is wrongly labeled. It shows a different SIM slot. It shows the international one that has two SIM slots. And so it says that you can put a SIM card, a second SIM card above or behind the first SIM card or whatever, or however it fits in there. Well, obviously in the single SIM model, you can't do that. It's not going to fit. Like, it obviously doesn't fit in the tray. People accepted that challenge. And so they started trying to put second SIM cards in the SD card slot, and then they tried to force the slot shut. And some of them succeeded. And then they succeeded in figuring out they'd broken their SIM card slot.
Yeah.
Because they tried to remove it and it got stuck.
I think that Ryan was really tactful and diplomatic with his title this week, too. The Moto G5 Plus is not eating SIM cards. People just need to pay more attention.
But isn't that true of everything in life? People need to pay more attention. You could append that to the end of every news
people are
story
just
ever
really
published.
dumb. Would have been a better finishing line.
Car
to
falls
that
in the
title.
sinkhole. People need to pay more attention. Man struck by tree. People need to pay more attention. So anyway, these people were really mad at Motorola over this. I mean, it's fair. The one fair thing is they sent the wrong instructions, and people really, really, really wanted to follow the instructions.
They were trying hard, David. They were trying hard.
They really were putting in
Trying
a
their
lot
best.
of effort there. I would not be surprised if Amazon happily would take these back on return, especially given their included faulty instructions.
I could totally see my mom doing this exact thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So that was a very interesting story this week. You know,
Actually, now that I think about it, I don't remember the last time I read instructions for a phone or a tablet. Or
oh god,
that doesn't even occur to me.
I get so many hits.
Corbin, not everyone in the world is as talented as you, my friend.
Oh, thank you, Jeff.
Yeah.
Nor does everyone get a ton of phones doing it all the time.
Child prodigy, Corbin.
Is there even like a quick start guide in the Pixel box? I don't remember there being one.
Yeah, I think there is.
There is,
Okay.
and there's like this little switching guide to use the switch tool. Yeah.
Well, Jeff, it's kind of you to think that I'm
you're
smart,
right.
but I also broke my Moto G doing something like this.
Oh yeah.
Back when I had it, yeah, I had a nano SIM, and I had a one of my, I forget whatever phone I had at the time broken. It had a nano SIM, so my only backup phone was my first gen Moto G that had a micro SIM. So I tried to put the nano SIM in the little adapter, and the first gen Moto G had it's like an SD card where it clicked in.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe it would work. Maybe the adapter would click it. No. Nope. I can no longer use the SIM card slot on my Moto G. It's very sad.
Corbin,
nice.
that was a very sad story.
It was.
Thank
I have never actually broken a SIM card slot. I hate those adapters with a passion.
Yes.
Yeah,
But
they're terrible.
they do sometimes work. I've used them. You know, the ones that do work, they're really annoying. But they started adding adhesive inside the little slot adapter, and so they kind of stay now. They're still really janky. The other thing I've had to do is cut down SIMs, which is thankfully a lot easier.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love doing that at T-Mobile with a little punch. Did you have that, or did you use like an X-Acto knife?
I use an X-Acto knife, but
You're hardcore.
well, I didn't want to buy the punch thing. That's a little too much of an investment.
So you just thought you might destroy your $600 phone, but the punch $499.
Well, I think it was in a phone where it was when it slid in, but there's no mechanism, so it would just slide back out. So it was a safe bet. Yeah, I have a baggie full of SIMs. There are probably I have like 40 or 50 SIM cards in this baggie that I've collected over the years.
David, stop bragging, man.
So many SIMs.
Tim Rich over there.
I don't think any of them work, unfortunately. So, I think that actually I want to talk about briefly, or have Jordan talk about, since we didn't talk about it last week. I don't think it wasn't done last week. Jordan can talk about his review of the Huawei P10, because I think some interesting things could be said about that phone.
Yeah. So, in short, it's a really good little phone. I've got the small little 5.1 inch guy. It's got the I don't know if you guys can see it, but the dual camera sensors, the 12 megapixel RGB and the 20 megapixel monochrome. So you can do those cool natural black and white pictures. The screen bugs me a lot. If anybody's actually read the review, there's no oleophobic coating on the screen.
That's my fault, by the way,
it's
everybody.
David's fault.
Because Huawei ships screen protectors on their phones instead of like putting an oleophobic coating on, and I always take it off.
So I got it.
Screw that.
I hate built-in screen protector.
So it's a 650 euro phone without an oleophobic coating on it.
Is it
but
oleophobic or oleophobic? I just want to establish this right now.
I'm sure it depends on where you're from.
Okay.
I've said both. I've heard both.
All right. You can continue.
But it's got EMU. It was the first phone with EMUI 5.1 on it, which still sucks, but it's better. Especially, the Nougat base makes it nice. The only differences that I was able to find in 5.1 is some algorithms for RAM management and touch sensitivity. So, a little wonder Huawei's not making a big deal out of it. Other than that, it's my daily driver for the time being because I like the size. The camera is fantastic, and the fingerprint sensor is, Huawei, so it's amazingly fast and accurate, even when my thumbs get beat up, which most other fingerprint sensors start to fail after a while. After I use them for a while, because I start getting calluses on my fingers. So, other than that, it is a good phone. I'm not sure if it beats out, say, a Pixel. It is cheaper, but you have to deal with EMUI, which is a bummer. I'd rather just have stock, but it's definitely better than EMUI 4.1 was on the Honor 6X, which was just a mess. I hated that, but yeah, I kind of wish I'd been able to play with the P10 Plus it had a little bit different camera setup. So I heard that it was a little bit faster and better in low light than this guy, because it's essentially the same camera as the Mate 9 was. So other than that, yeah, I don't know why this phone exists, especially with that Honor 8 Pro out.
Yeah, Huawei undercuts itself with those Honor phones.
Yeah, like the Honor 8 Pro is pretty much this with some, according to the official specs, minor Wi-Fi discrepancies. But other than that, it's a bigger QHD version of this.
Doesn't it also have the fingerprint scanner on the back?
Yes, where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I feel like the Honor 8 Pro seems more appealing for that.
I heard the reason they put it on the front was because of that diamond cut finish. They couldn't cut out the fingerprint sensor for the blue one. So like just this matte one, it would have been fine. But
that seems like a silly reason to.
Oh, that diamond cut finish, by the way, I touched it. It's obnoxious. Like if you run your fingernails over it, it makes that like hologram material sound where it's like.
So it's like carbon fiber.
Yes, it's not nice. It looks kind of cool, I guess.
I'd probably just put a case on it. So,
but I mean, on a small phone, the front-mounted fingerprint sensor isn't that bad. It's when the phone is larger and you're trying to like jangle your thumb down to unlock it. It doesn't work out so well. But yeah, like I said, it's my daily driver until I get something better.
Yeah. I'm looking at the 8 Pro. I didn't look too closely when it was announced. It comes in that cool blue color that Honor did with the regular 8, which looks amazing. The phone looks better overall. It's a better size. I mean, come on, it's 2017. Like a 5.7-inch phone is big, but it's not like ridiculous. 6 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of storage, a 4,000 mAh battery.
Yeah.
This is clearly the more desirable device. Like it's not even close.
Why does an Android phone need 6 gigs of RAM? What happened?
Why not?
Why not?
549 euro. So it's 100 euro less than the P10. And probably maybe the cameras aren't as good. I wouldn't be surprised.
It's a 12 and 12, I think, instead of 12 and 20.
So the cameras might be worse, but the performance is probably going to be exactly the same. And yeah, and it looks like it has a higher resolution screen. Wonder how the screen is, and the design is better. I easily like to look at this more. It is more iPhone-y.
Yes,
that is true. It's a little bit of a shame. Yeah, it's a little. It's not subtle.
Because the Honor 8 didn't look very iPhone-y, did it?
No, it didn't.
Was that one Samsung-y?
The Honor 8 was kind of like I'm not sure I would describe it, because it kind of blended iPhone and Samsung, so it kind of looked like neither.
One thing that I noticed when I was looking at the official specs page, and some people were pointing out in the comments that it might be different, but the 8 Pro lacks AC and 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi like the 6X does.
What?
Yeah.
So they just arbitrarily stripped it out? Like,
I guess. Like, some people are saying the Chinese version's got the that higher Wi-Fi spec, but the
man,
UK
that's
version...
messed up.
Well, it's like with the Honor 6X, some markets have the disabled NFC reader.
Or Sony not having fingerprint sensors work on their phones a generation ago.
That Sony thing is still
That's still a thing.
Yeah, still a thing. Very much so.
Oh, they still are doing that with their current phones? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, they're still... US ones don't have fingerprint scanners.
Yeah.
Or have them disabled, rather, I think.
Don't have the quote marks there.
So I think the other kind of news item that happened this week was Android 7.1.2 is out of beta, and that means updates for Nexus and Pixel devices. Some of the changes I think that are there's some changes I think probably worth pointing out. If anybody would like to volunteer to give some of them, or I can do it, I guess.
Where's Cody when you need him?
He's right
Cody,
over there.
turn your mic back on.
No, I was listening. I just did not actually get a good look through the list of stuff. I was in the middle of reading the YouTube TV thing earlier. By all means.
Okay. We're getting a couple of things. One of the first user-facing things, you're getting battery usage alerts. So that will let you know if an app is doing, consuming a bunch of your battery, I believe is what it is.
I think that was in the last 7.1.2 beta.
Yes, probably. I mean, I assume they're bringing in the stuff from the betas. So the other thing that Pixel owners will probably be happy to hear is Google, kind of like they do with almost every release, is promise that Bluetooth will work better now.
Oh my gosh, why is Bluetooth such a struggle? It's not like it's a new technology.
It is almost comical how bad Google is at optimizing their Bluetooth stack.
Oh my gosh, it's awful.
It's every phone, every single time. I never have these problems with Samsung phones with Bluetooth. Only Google.
Yeah, I've gotten to the point where I cannot test Bluetooth speakers or headphones with a Nexus device because inevitably I'll run into these weird problems. I don't know if it's my speaker or the headphones or the phone, and it's the phone. Every time it's the phone. So
yeah, it's obnoxious. So they say it's going to get better. I don't know if I believe them.
Well, if they released it really bad, then they can say it gets better if you make incremental changes as time goes on and make people happy that way, right?
Every time they say it's going to get better, it usually does get better, just not the better everyone expects. It's the 5 to 10% better.
There's also a fix in this. If your Pixel had started having an early shutdown issue where the phone would turn off before the battery was actually dead, supposedly that's been fixed. We actually asked Google if this also fixed the issue with the Nexus 6P and shutting down early. And Google said, no, you should talk to somebody about getting a replacement for your phone. So, good news.
Yeah, my warranty just expired.
Yeah, if you're outside of your Nexus Protector, your warranty, you can probably try to beg Google support to replace it, I guess. I mean,
I'm getting all kinds of microphone issues right now, too. I'm not very happy.
Google really dropped the ball on that one. There should have been probably some kind of customer replacement program, because that's a really serious issue. There are also changes for the Nexus phones. You get, apparently, enhanced notification stability. I don't even know what that means.
What is that?
Stabilize your notifications. That's good.
So stable you can keep horses in it.
Yeah, so you also get fingerprint swipe gestures on the 5X and 6P, so you can bring down the notification bar with your fingerprint scanner, which honestly is a feature I never, ever, ever, ever use. There are some connectivity improvements, supposedly, and they also get the battery usage alerts. So 7.1.2 will probably be rolling out to devices soon if you haven't already gotten it. You can also go directly to the Google developers page and download the full OTAs and just sideload them yourself if you get impatient. It's pretty easy. So I think with that, Jeff had maybe some products he wanted to tell us about.
Yeah.
Look at.
I got a couple of speakers in the mail from UE this past week. This is the Wonderboom. For those of you guys who are watching along, actually, they sent me 2 of them because
They
one
look
of the
like koosh
features.
balls.
They're like, yeah, they're actually a really fun size and shape. They're about probably about the size of a grapefruit, maybe kind of a flat top grapefruit, and they make the happiest little chime sounds when you turn them on. Let me turn one on here. It's really weird, but I'm really into Bluetooth speaker startup sounds. Like I have my favorites, and it kind of is the personality of the speaker.
It's true. I have this stupid LG one, and the noise it makes when it starts up is like it's bad. And it
Oh
makes
yeah,
me dislike the
yeah.
speaker.
It's like it gives me a bad taste for a speaker if it's got a bad noise. And my favorite by far, if anyone is curious, is Libratone. They have the best sounding speaker startup ever. Go look it up. Anyways, back to UE here. These are $100 speakers, so they slot in at the same spot as the UE Roll and $100 less than the UE Boom. And my first thought when they released it was, why not just buy a UE Roll that already exists? Are they cannibalizing their own product line, releasing another speaker at the same price point? But this is to fill kind of a different need. The Roll's biggest issue is its flat design makes it not very good for bass performance. And this device, with its rounder, larger body, it has a lot better bass response. It actually sounds very similar to the UE Roll, which is $100 more. And once again, you wonder, so what did they cut out for $100 less with this device? And the biggest answer is this one does not connect via to any applications on your phone. So there's no connection to change the equalizer settings or pair the different devices. But they have retained a couple of the best features from the device even without an application. My favorite is you can press the UE button at the top on 2 speakers at the same time, and it will engage a pairing mode, and the 2 speakers will talk to each other and then pair automatically. Supposedly. Come on. There we go. All right. And then you can use the volume controls on either speaker to control the volume settings on both at the same time, which is kind of cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, and that's really smart. And it's actually the easiest pairing experience I've ever had with 2 speakers. Usually that's a total pain in the butt when you're trying to test that. So I actually kind of dig the fact that they don't have an application. I usually don't use applications that come with speakers, and it's nice that the settings are just built right in. You also don't get the Google voice controls. In fact, there's no microphone on these speakers, so you can't use them as a speakerphone, which is kind of a bummer. So that's another feature that's definitely missing. But something really cool about them is they are not only waterproof, they float. So you can take them and just chuck them in your pool and have them bobbing around playing music. So I don't know what it's like to have a pool because I live in Seattle, and instead we just have mud puddles. But if you have a pool, that's something kind of cool you can think about.
You can use a mud puddle too. I mean,
yeah.
who's stopping you?
So that's the UE Wonderboom, and I'm gonna let it say goodbye to you now because I've already talked about how much I like speaker noises.
I like that.
I think it's kind of adorable. So all right, it is.
It is. So I asked I put out a poll on Twitter earlier today, and I think it'd be interesting to get everybody's kind of response to this question. Put it out there. Gmail for Google Inbox on your phone. We'll talk about it on your phone because on the desktop, kind of anybody's game.
Gmail.
Wait, what was the question? It cut out.
Gmail or Inbox is your email client on Android.
Well, anyone that's read any of my posts on either, you already know the answer. I'm Gmail all the way.
Yeah.
Inbox.
Inbox for me too.
Inbox for me as well. The inboxes have it. Yeah. We should probably talk about why.
Okay, who's gonna go first here? Do we let Team Inbox or Team?
Let's let Gmail
Google
make it.
Yeah, they're outnumbered.
Case.
Let them have their time on the floor.
Well, I haven't touched Inbox in quite some time. Just kind of lazy, and I don't want to change because I'm set in my ways. But I didn't like it before because, at least back when I used it, when you swiped away things, it would just archive them instead of deleting them, or when you marked stuff as done. And I hate
You're
archiving.
a deleter.
I'm a deleter. So, and back when I used it, I didn't have all the label controls that I have in the Gmail app. So, I mean, I was actually thinking about giving it a try, probably in the next want to probably reset a phone or something. But it's ugly as shit, but it gets the job done for me.
Yeah, the Gmail app is not aging well at this point.
No, it looks and feels old, and I have
I
no
like
problem.
the tablet version of it, where it has you can have the shortcuts on the side.
Columns.
I
Yeah,
don't think
and
I've ever
multiple
used my Gmail app on a tablet before. I'll have to try that out.
But it's mainly I'm set in my ways and don't want to change.
So when I first tried it, my immediate thing was it completely conflicted with a lot of routines I'd already created. I've got a lot of filters set up. I think I'm going on like 2.5, 3 pages of filters, which depends on your screen size. So I mean, that plays into it a lot. But yeah, I've got a ton of filters set up, a lot of label, and Inbox just did not play okay with this at all. Its predilection to archiving was completely contrary to a system I had created, because I hate having things archived if they don't have at least one label attached to them. So I even have this system where basically an email I want to keep, but I don't have a good place for it, I have a label called done, and I throw so much stuff into done because it's got to be there for search purposes, but I don't want it sticking around with just garbage that I want to get rid of. So
to summarize, you're anal retentive.
Well, I don't want garbage. And also, let's throw in one other thing. Once you work for like AP, you get so much email.
Oh God, yeah.
You will fill up your. People don't understand this. You will actually fill up your email in time.
Disclosure, I use Gmail for AP email. I can't do Inbox for AP. That's like impossible.
See, I love Inbox.
That's the only reason I use Inbox.
I couldn't handle it in Inbox.
See, I'm a terribly disorganized email person. So the forced bundling that Inbox does, I love it because it's like the only organization I really have in my email.
I just use the tabs in Gmail for that for AP because just like you just tell it and it learns which emails should go into which.
I send Robot to social just to keep it out of the way.
I love the ability to pin things in Inbox as well. Once again, I am very rudimentary in my organization skills, and so I just pin the crap out of everything that is important, and it doesn't disappear. So I like that.
See, I don't use the pinning. I've never used it.
Yeah, I like the pins, and I like the reminders because once again, I need some organizational help.
I don't use the reminders really either.
David, why do you use Inbox? I
don't use it for AP. I use the Inbox mobile app for AP on my phone.
It's pretty, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and I like the it's serviceable because I'm doing email on my phone. It's just like triage. I'm just looking at whatever's new.
Yeah.
I'm not going through automated email on my phone. Now, if I'm on the desktop and I'm feeling like, hey, this label, the updates label, has 3,400 emails in it. Right, I'm cleaned out. And doing that in Inbox is not fun. It's too difficult. The selection system and everything, it's not worth it. So I think that for that, I definitely use Gmail on the desktop. Now, for personal email, I love Inbox because I love the automated, the travel bundles.
I love finance bundles and
the finance bundles.
Oh, it's great.
The shopping. That's all fantastic. That's like my favorite part of it. So I never lose a package that I'm supposed to be tracking. I always know what I bought. I know when a trip is coming up because that's getting pretty smart for the most part. It still misses occasionally.
I really do love that, and that's probably why I kept it around for AP. Is I started using Inbox before I started writing for AP, and I was already used to it with my personal emails. And maybe I've just gotten kind of used to the quirks that it has with my AP account, but I do love it for personal stuff.
Yeah, for personal stuff, it's great. And I love the way everything gets bundled in terms of like, I can tell that everything on a given morning in the social and the finance tab is junk. And so I can just hit that green check mark and it's gone. Don't need to worry about it again. It makes parsing things really easy in a way Gmail doesn't.
Is there an option to delete now when marking is done, or is it still archived?
Yes, there is. In the Android app, you can swipe right to delete now. They added that not that recently. I can't because everybody asked for it.
Yeah, that's I think like a year old now.
Like I said, I haven't touched Inbox for years, so I'm actually thinking about switching over to like you, David, personal for for personal for Inbox and AP for Gmail. But
yeah, a lot of people say they like the pinning and the snoozing. I don't usually use those too much. Snoozing to me is kind of a foreign concept. I've never done email that way, but a lot of people rely on it.
I do a lot of snoozing, but mostly just in the morning, like with my alarm clock. So.
The thing is, there are actually a lot of features in Inbox that I'd like to see in Gmail, and coincidentally, I'm going to be writing a teardown, I think, about something that is coming to Gmail. But yeah, the main thrust of Inbox is those smart bundles, and I don't have a lot of use for them. They just really don't play into the way I use it.
You are an email power user, and I think Inbox is bad for email power users.
Yeah, I think you and I need to have a conversation
absolutely
on how to do email, because I clearly am doing it wrong.
Because Artem hates Inbox too. Artem refuses to use Inbox because it totally F's with his email flow.
I think Artem would fire me if he saw my inbox.
Without a question, I will say this. Artem, his way of using email, it for user by comparison.
Yeah, he's
Artem knows every shortcut key by heart.
He does.
You can ask it with more like an RSS feed.
Artem is more like an email savant. Like he's granted, he takes forever to respond to email, and I don't think his system is very functional these days.
Well, when he gets like 25,000 a day, I get more
exactly. And so to give you an example of this, I had a phone call with Artem earlier today, our semi-annual phone call that we had. And that's how I got him to respond to an email he needed to respond to. To get Artem on the phone and point out that there is an email and you need to do this and send this to someone. Otherwise, it could have been weeks.
Yeah. Was that my request, by the way, David?
No, this was a completely unrelated request.
Oh, nice.
A completely unrelated email Artem was not responding to.
Here's a confession. I have never heard Artem's voice. In fact, I've never seen a picture of Artem. I'm not even entirely sure he exists yet.
Yeah, I know.
We're in the same boat, Jeff.
Yeah.
He might be an Android.
I really feel like the Tin Man sometimes, and I'm talking to the wizard behind the curtain.
Yeah, I've never even talked to our big boss.
Yeah. Ryan will be meeting Artem for the first time in May.
How exciting.
So will Zach, and that's it. All the rest of us met Artem. He exists. He's a person. I think so.
We're positive person.
If he was a robot, it'd be really smart to start a website called Android Police. It's a really good cover there. Who would expect a robot starting a website about androids? It'd be very clever.
If Artem knew we were
he
talking about him on the show, he'd be made very uncomfortable by it, which makes it even funnier to me.
Well, he doesn't listen to the show, so
it's true. He doesn't. He'll never know. I don't know if there's anything else we want to kind of to wrap up on this week, or if there's any other kind of stuff.
Well, we can always laugh at Samsung for a little bit.
We could. What about this time, though?
We need to give Samsung a break. People last week were very offended in our comments, so we made fun of Samsung because they love Samsung, guys. Come on.
Really?
It's because we're being paid by Google.
Yeah,
it is.
And Comcast now too.
All those Google checks.
I'm being
Google
paid
and
by
Comcast
apparently.
And YouTube pays us. Who else can we say pays us? It's great.
Sony? No, wait. Sony's competitors.
Sony definitely does not pay us.
No, they haven't.
I can confirm that.
Our reviews have not been so kind to Sony recently. So.
No. Our reviews aren't kind to many people, but
No.
Your reviews are not kind to anyone, David. So
I've written one time I went through because I felt like I was getting a lot of shit over this, and I went through all of my phone reviews over like a 3-year period. The plurality were positive. I don't know where this view that I hate all phones.
Maybe it's just the way that you read them in your head. Maybe you just have a really positive self voice when you.
Well, when you read it with David's voice in mind, it kind of does sound very.
This phone is not awful.
I didn't count those as positive. I counted those as ambivalent. All right, there's a neutral column in my tallying system, but All
See,
right.
David doesn't hate phones. The phones
I'll
hate
stack
him.
up to the positive and negatives.
The neutral column was only a little bit less big than the positive column. The bad column was by far the smallest. I mean, I haven't really ever taken like the full-on axe to a phone in a review very often. That's actually been pretty rare.
You mean you've never taken a picture of it in the garbage can?
Oh yes, I've never gone full Ron.
I think that when you do it though, you do it so exceptionally well, it just sears our memories. So it's
yeah.
really quite a work of art. I have an
Yes,
axe in my
art.
garage that has your name on it. It's great. So.
Well, that's terrifying. I think on that note, we are out of things to talk about this week. So thank you for listening, everybody. You can send your feedback to podcast@androidpolice.com. We do appreciate it. And once again, thanks for listening, and we'll see you all next week.
Bye.
Later, guys.
Bye.
Okay, make sure I got that right. I'd say that we were light on stuff to talk about, but nothing really happened this week.
Yeah,
No,
there
it was
wasn't
pretty, I
much.
think we had a decent conversation on a light week.
There weren't many lull moments, so
Yeah.
Did you just? I didn't realize. Did you decide to skip Waze?
Oh yeah, we did. Well, we can talk about it next week when Ryan's on, because I feel like
Okay.
it's
Yeah,
just me and
I
you.
brought it up in chat when you said that,
I completely blanked.
we were wrapping up, and it's like, wait, what?
I
Oh,
totally
yeah.
blanked on that.
I
We
don't
can talk
have the
about it.
privilege of being near Android Auto.
Yeah, I mean it's not much of a privilege, honestly. All right, I'm going to stop the broadcast.
Android, it's gotta be